putting in consistent hours to trading, to this kind of business, starts yielding rewards. So
Yeah.
tell us about that.
It does, eventually it does. I'll give you my personal example of how trading used to work. I think when I began trading and I was significantly younger, I was big on this whole technical and analysis kind of stuff. So I would read a lot of books on, say, candlestick charting or the different technical parameters which are out there. And I would look at charts and try to recognize patterns and base my investing based on that. I did it for I think a few years, lost money a few times, made money a few times. But then eventually I kind of like moved away from it because at some point I started believing that market activity is random and not necessarily cyclical. So if I'm looking at patterns in random numbers, I don't think I will, find it because the future is very unpredictable. So I moved away from that. Then I did the whole fundamental analysis for a bit, and you look at which stock is cheap, which stock is fairly valued, which does not have a lot of leverage on its books and stuff like that. Did that for a while, a couple of years, then I waned off it. Then for a while I would look at sentiment. What is the FII doing when he's putting money into India? What are the promoters of a certain company doing? Stuff like that. Then after a while I moved away from that. And now I had a quant phase after that when, I would set rules in place which would execute transactions on their own. Did that for a while, moved away from that. Now I do a combination of all of this. I think what I give most importance to is sentiment. And generally at the end of it, outside of numbers and everything else, I think if you're able to gauge what smart money is going to do or what people with the largest corpus are doing right now, I think is a good way to gauge direction. You can do it by a bunch of information which is publicly available. I think a good place to start is to see what the foreign institutions are doing, what the domestic institutions are doing, what the promoters of certain companies are doing. I think with all the information together, you get a better sense of sentiment.